week, it was an NBA Christmas day and night to remember, highlighted by Nikola Jokic's 56-point triple-double, which helped the Nuggets beat Anthony Edwards' Wolves in overtime. Jokic set an NBA record by scoring 18 in the overtime. Then there's the other unicorn in the NBA, Victor Wembanyama, who put up 19 points and 11 rebounds off the bench, while De'Aaron Fox added 29 to help the Spurs beat the defending champion Oklahoma City Thunder for the third time in the last 2 weeks. Monica and Perk back with us here. Monica, as we look at these two teams, we look at the Western Conference, we want to talk about who is the biggest threat to those title-holding Oklahoma City Thunder. Is it the Nuggets or is it the Spurs?
I'm going Nuggets, Courtney, Perk. I'm going Nuggets because I don't think you can deny experience. In fact, and I give the Spurs a ton of credit. I think Mitch Johnson is doing a great job. De'Aaron Fox, Victor Wembanyama, press conferences right before the NBA Cup. I was in Vegas, and those guys talked about the need to get they didn't use this phrase, but I'll call it the scar tissue when it comes to achieving. You got to have some experiences together. What better experience can one have together than to already have won a championship together? When you look at the core, Jokic, Murray, Gordon, even though I think it's totally fair to be excited about the Spurs and to be dazzled with the youth and the speed, Jokic is a well-established, immovable object in this league, and I'm going with the Nuggets.
Perk, you agree?
I don't agree, and here's why. And because I've seen a big enough sample size that they cause OKC problems, not just for us with Victor Wembanyama, but it's those big guards and big wings that the Spurs have. OKC seem to struggle with those guys. Those guys have had it their way over the last 3 weeks, over the last 3 games, doing what they need to do to get it done. Again, we saw Keldon Johnson two games ago. He went for 25 off the bench. Harrison Barnes had 20 in that game. We saw the effect of Dylan Harper coming in last night, making an impact on both ends of the floor. And that damn Stephon Castle getting it done. Especially when he's guarding Jalen Williams. He has found a way to make him uncomfortable defensively. Offensively, he is doing an excellent job of being that guy that could be able to get his and make guys around them better. When they go 5 out, they're dangerous offensively, and I'm talking about the San Antonio Spurs. But I saw last night, yesterday, and over these past 3 games, the Thunder kept trying to search out guys on the Spurs to find that mismatch, and they just couldn't do it. They have too much depth on the perimeter, and that's what scares me when it comes to this head-to-head matchup between the Thunder and the Spurs.
Perk, I totally hear you on that, but I guess, while I am very impressed with this 3-0 in this little stretch here, I still think that OKC can continue to grow and improve, and we'll learn from these. I think the Spurs have played some of their best basketball. They can continue to grow as well, but I just think those games meant a little bit more. And so if we get into April, right, and we're in the tight ball games, I think Christian Braun's been out for the Nuggets. Obviously, Jokic, we talked about their big 3 in terms of what they have to do. I think there are more ways that the Nuggets are going to be able to play to deal with OKC. I think we have seen, flat out, the formula from the Spurs when it comes to OKC.
You mentioned last hour the 2 meetings that are coming up between the Spurs and the Thunder, the January 1 and the February 1. Let's forecast it to February 5th, I guess the day after that 5th meeting. Will we still be saying that Oklahoma City has a Spurs problem at that point?
Girl, Court, that's a good question, because I thought for sure OKC was going to get right in this 3rd game, and they didn't. No, I think the series will balance back out. I really do. I'm not sure where both of those games are, but I do think right now the Spurs are on an incredible run. And as we see across the league, various teams, runs are a part of the experience of an 82-game season. And the Spurs are in a positive one, and the OKC is in a little bit of a negative one right now. But I really do think they're going to take that tape to heart. Mark Dagnall, those guys, those players, that brotherhood that we praised in OKC is still there. Just because they hit a little bit of adversity doesn't mean they won't hold one another accountable.
That would be wild if they're 0-5 against the Spurs.
What? Oh, my gosh.
All right, let's look at the East now, where the Knicks kicked off the NBA Christmas Day slate with an epic comeback over the Cavs. Jalen Brunson led the way with 34 points, but it was Tyler Kolek who sparked that comeback with some timely threes and a block that had the Garden chanting his name. New York overcame a 17-point fourth-quarter deficit to beat Cleveland for a 2nd time this season. Monica, were you more encouraged by the Knicks or discouraged by the Cavs and the letdown for them in this game?
I think I was encouraged by the Knicks in this one. I mean, I've obviously had a pretty close seat to see these guys, but the way in which the Knicks are finding different players to push the right buttons in the right way to win is a really big deal in terms of what I think they're doing. Now, listen, last year this team was tremendous. In fact, it's been a nice, steady 4-year increase for what they've been able to do, and Jalen Brunson still is at the heart of it. But when you look at the wins since winning the NBA Cup, different players have been able to step up in really big ways. And I think one of the things that might go a little bit under the radar in terms of them getting this game was the way that Mitchell Robinson is emerging. He had 8 rebounds in that fourth quarter, which I believe was a new career high for him in a quarter. So the way that the Knicks are going about this, to me, gives me a lot of confidence as they continue to move forward.
Well, I was already encouraged by Big Body Brunson and the New York Knicks from what I saw in the in-season tournament when they came back against the San Antonio Spurs when they were down double digits, and Kolak and Jordan Clarkson came up huge in that fourth quarter. I was more discouraged by Cleveland. They have been the biggest disappointment this short season in my eyes in the NBA. The Cavs have, and I said going into yesterday's game, I said this is an opportunity for them to make a statement not only for the world but for themselves. The Cleveland Cavaliers in yesterday's game showed the true definition of being front runners. They are soft, and it starts with their big men, and Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. You talk about Mitchell Robinson having a career-high 8 rebounds in a quarter. Well, guess who was actually defending him? Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. They were switching up. And so when you think about it, I'm looking at the stat sheet, and I don't like to go to the stat sheet because I always like to, just trust my eyes. But my eyes saw on the stat sheet that Evan Mobley and Jared Allen didn't have a block or a steal in that game. That's a problem. These are supposed to be your enforcers. And so when you think about the small backcourt that they already have in Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, we talk about defense win championships. It's hard for them to win the championship if your big men are not playing physical and you have small guards that are trying to defend these big wings and a guy like Big Body Brunson. I know he's 6'1", 6'2", but he played like he's 6'8", 6'9" when it comes down to getting the bucket.
I feel you on that, Perk. I guess for whatever reason, I still have this ray of hope on Cleveland, just a little bit for this season. I think when you look at the East,
why?
I know. Hear me out. Not that, do I believe that they're contenders any longer? Probably not. But do I think they could cause some problems in the playoffs, depending on matchup? Because they still have Donovan Mitchell. I think Darius Garland, that was one of his better games in a while. Evan Mobley was coming back from the injury. It was his first game back. I'll give it a little bit of grace. I still think they have the pieces, right? Last year's experience doesn't mean anything when you look at them.
Oh, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. Okay. We're not about to straddle the fence, Monica. You're not about to sit up here and say that you don't think they're contenders and then all of a sudden say that they could cause noise in the playoffs. This team is the only team in the NBA that's in the second apron, meaning that they are all in to compete for a championship. Right. There's no ifs, ands, buts around it.
You're right. That's fair. That's fair. If the question is, are they contenders or not, I do not see them as contenders anymore this year.
It just feels like a disappointment considering where they were last year, the disappointment from them in the postseason, and then as wide open as the East is right now, they're not able to capitalize on that. But you were at this game yesterday. Time for a quick take. Take us back to the animated broadcast that you were a part of, the Dunk the Halls broadcast featuring Mickey, Goofy, Stitch, and friends. Monica, what was that experience like?
So, first of all, I got to shout out to my guy, Drew Carter, because he was pressing through, feeling a little under the weather. But this is totally one of my favorite things to do. It's a lot of fun. Now, I will be honest that late in the game, I was watching the real game, and I forgot that Mikal Bridges was being played by Donald, and that Mickey was playing Donovan Mitchell when he hit that crazy shot. But this is so much fun. It's so much energy. It's really cool to get texts, calls, friends to see you and be like, the babies were watching, my kids were watching, they were so into it. It's dope to be a part of maybe helping to make the next generation of NBA fans. So this was a lot of fun.
I got to give you credit because when you were doing that interview with Donald Duck yesterday and you couldn't understand a damn word he was saying, you still soldiered on and made him feel welcomed and you said, all right, thanks so much for joining us.
Oh, man.
Drew, did you catch any of that?
We had a good time, and I think, too, the Christmas theme of it all and the hidden Mickeys and, the teamwork and the camaraderie, it was cool. It was really cool.
And, Perk, I'm going to need that Big Body Brunson sweatshirt that you had yesterday here. That was supposed to be my day after Christmas gift, the one that you get 50% off the next day.
There you
go. It's sitting right here. I still got it.
Hey, all right, we love it. We'll leave it here. We got a huge showdown Sunday.